film extras, allowed me to recreate much of the lost history of those early years. The Wharton Studio Museum, especially Executive Director Diana Reisman, the Ithaca Made Movies website established by Terry Harbin, the Serial Squadron DVDs produced by Eric Stedman, the Ithaca Silent Movies programs written by Aaron Pickle, and the library and film holdings at the George Eastman Museum. The moving image section of the Motion Picture Broadcasting and Recorded Sound Division of the Library of Congress and other archives afforded me links to stills, photos, and other materials that proved immensely helpful, while the discovery of a handful of rare film scripts, 3 of which are reproduced in the appendices to this volume, provided insights into the Whartons' actual filmmaking. Unmatched in their day and still widely imitated in ours, the Whartons were undeniably sensational filmmakers who not only made an invaluable contribution to cinema history, but also captured the special magic of early filmmaking. Introduction. The sensation of the serial. Going to the movies. For most Americans in the mid-1910s, it was both a special event and a weekly ritual. Movie houses, many of them grand downtown palaces with names like the Rialto or the Majestic, had begun springing up across the country to accommodate the growing demand for moving pictures. Some theaters, called atmospherics, were decorated to resemble exotic locales, a Spanish courtyard, for example, or a South Asian temple. Others boasted crystal chandeliers, gilded plasterwork, and other opulent trappings. Outside, their triangular marquees lined with tiny blinking lights and their extravagant sidewalk displays tantalized moviegoers with the promise of new visual excitements. Since moviegoing in those days was an occasion, patrons dressed accordingly. Women donned their most fashionable hats, men wore their good suits. Inside the theater, they would be escorted to their seats by uniformed ushers or usherettes, who were attractive but not so pretty as to compete with the on-screen entertainment. By the time the lights went down and the plush velvet curtain came up, moviegoers were already on the edge of their seats in anticipation of the spectacle and sensations that awaited them. A hair-raising car chase? A massive train wreck? A runaway hot air balloon? A daring rescue from a steep cliff or a burning building? Perhaps a wild animal attack? Glass slides immediately preceding the picture advised women to remove their hats. "Madam, how would you like to sit behind the hat you are wearing?" Cautioned men not to smoke, and warned that loud talking or whistling is not allowed. At the larger theaters, an ensemble of musicians, or sometimes an entire orchestra, would start to play, a signal that the show was about to begin. Even at the smaller neighborhood houses, a solo piano player or organist provided a musical accompaniment, either improvised or from cue sheets, to establish the appropriate atmosphere. If the audience was lucky, the theater might be conducting some kind of giveaway that day, a doll, or maybe a paper mask, a calendar, a souvenir booklet, or a puzzle. Though not as elaborate as the dish nights or bank nights that became so popular in the post-Depression years, those giveaways created an additional incentive for attendance. As the projectionist changed reels, which usually ran 12 to 15 minutes each, patrons took advantage of the intermission to visit the concession stand, something that theater managers encouraged because it augmented their business and, on rare occasions, generated almost as much income as the box office did. In the more elaborate theaters, cry rooms in the back allowed mothers to calm their babies and still watch the show. Neighborhood theaters lacked such amenities, but nonetheless offered the same exciting entertainments and opportunities for socializing, which contemporary journalist Mary Heaton Vorse described as a series of touching little adventures with the people who sit near you. For families who saved up their nickels and dimes, a visit to the movies became a regular Saturday outing, and ultimately, for many, a cherished memory. Throughout much of the 1910s, one particular kind of production kept moviegoers coming back to the theaters week after week: the serial motion picture. Typically 2 reel action-packed films that ran for 10, 15, or more installments, those serials often ended with a cliffhanger and a promise to be continued next week. Episodically structured and suspensefully plotted, they not only served as the precursors of the popular installment dramas and crime procedurals that have become staples of modern network and cable television.